This episode of the Nerd Corporation podcast may contain spoilers and explicit language. Listener discretion is advised. Welcome to the Nerd Corporation.
What up, everybody? If you're listening to us, you know what day it is.
It's the Lord's Day.
Well, I mean, yeah, I guess.
Discount margaritas at the titty bar?
Oh, fuck, let's go.
Thanks for listening.
Bye.
Yeah, that's a good boy.
Arthur.
That's a good boy right there.
You shouldn't have done that.
Shut up, you goddamn woman.
Where'd you guys meet at the freak show? Where'd you two meet at the freak show? Welcome to Season 2, Episode 11, WWE Evolution. Chicks can do stuff now. We'd like to welcome Coles Bay. Boo. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful Angela. Say hello to the people.
Hi.
The main squeeze.
The main squeeze, the ball and chain.
I mean, Cole's got more to squeeze.
Yeah.
Technically.
If you want to
if
get
you're talking
technical
about, like,
about
pure
it.
mass, yeah.
That's the Mass Effect.
Yeah.
That's a fat joke, guys.
We are here to talk about the WWE's first ever all-women pay-per-view, Evolution. We're also here to skip the nerd news and talk about just one thing, and one thing only. The release of Red Dead Redemption 2. Holy shit.
And the release that all of you collectively have had from your loins because of it.
Right. Derek hasn't
Many
had
times.
a chance to play yet, but holy cowboy Jesus. Like, what a fucking game.
Would that be Yehovah?
Yeah. No, it's Yehovah. Oh, it's your boy.
Oh, God.
Chia.
And on the Lord's Day, you should all be ashamed.
Hove.
H to the Izzo.
So, first impressions. We are definitely going to be doing a full spoiler cast next week. But this week we just kind of wanted to check in on what our impressions were of the game. What did you guys think of it? What are your favorite parts so far? And then we'll get into more of it next week. Nick, let's start with you.
The first thing I noticed, because the first, when you start the game out, you're in this fucking snowy ass weather, and the first thing that I noticed when you start to actually gain control of Arthur, the main character, is the way that the snow reacted to your horse, or even you stepping in it. Like, it is flawless.
And even like just walking in it, like traversing in it, it's just as obnoxious as real snow.
And not only that, the way that your character or your horse will walk in the snow, like they'll be like stepping over.
Yeah, like the length that they went through to motion cap this guy's, like, because you can tell that he's using the muscles to wade through, waist high snow. It's crazy, dude. It's crazy.
I really dig it. Yeah. Cole, what was one thing you noticed?
This is easily the most detailed open world game ever. Like, holy hell.
Yeah.
I feel like the entire time I'm playing this game, it feels like this is an actual world that's reacting and responding to everything I do in it. It's insane to me.
I really enjoyed the cinematic camera.
Yes.
And it takes away the monotonous, like, steering and, like, keeping your horse up to speed. And I loved, like, just turning on that cinematic camera and just only having to hold X during those moments.
Actually, you don't have to hold X.
I found out you can...
Sometimes you do.
Only when you're riding with someone.
Yeah.
Only when you're riding with someone.
I
if
found
you're
out...
going to a destination, you can...
It just follows the trail, and
I found out you
that.
can turn that on when you're walking.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, that
and you'll just follow
blew me
the
away.
waypoint.
Yeah.
I
Even
really
if it's
enjoy
just
that.
like not even a mission point. It's a waypoint in general. Like even the red line, it'll still follow that. It's rad.
Okay, you guys. As we were talking about Red Dead Redemption, since I have nothing to really input, since I have no first impressions of the game, I was not paying attention and sort of Facebook scrolling and came across a meme saying that you can't collect all 150 horses in Red Dead Redemption unless you trade with someone who has Blue Dead Redemption. And it gave us all a giggle.
That's one of the best jokes I've ever seen. I swear.
Oh god, that was so
Classic.
great. Anyway, continue.
Yeah, mine is just, I think just the world itself is just so fucking pretty.
It is.
It is just a beautiful thing. Like, even like with the cinematic camera that Angela was talking about, like just watching everything that passes by, all of like the morning and noon and night cycles and stuff. That game just, and then another thing is just like all the secret shit that that you can find that's like,
you can naturally stumble across.
Yeah, like I came across this like cottage by a lake, and I walk in and they're just beds of skeletons. They're just skeletons,
really,
just all over the cabin.
Okay.
So you remember when you were telling us about on Facebook about the gold bars in the burnt down town? Mm-hmm. Did you go into the jail?
No.
You go into the jail and there's like a corpse laying on the bed, and you look over and there's another corpse who's like had their hand reaching through the bar, and I was like,
and what was that? Lymphony.
Yeah, and I sat there and I was like, I want to know what the fuck happened here.
Yeah.
Like,
that's just part of that lovely, what's the word I'm looking for? Environmental storytelling.
Yeah, like it's always seemed to be Rockstar's forte to just kind of throw in little stories here and there, even if they don't connect to the like main.
And that still gives you even more immersion into the world.
That's the number one thing about this game that's so mind-blowing to me is the immersion. Like it's crazy how I can sit down and I don't even look at my phone or nothing. Like I don't. Every game that I've played this year, I've been able to like take myself out of it and say, okay, I've been here for an hour, 2 hours, whatever. I don't do that at all with this game.
Absolutely not. No, I'm completely like balls deep.
Oh yeah,
horse balls deep.
And like I was making,
unless it's cold.
Yeah,
I was making the claim that I would have this game done. There's no way. Like this is by the end of the weekend.
No, I looked at my progress like earlier today. 17%.
14%.
How many hours do you guys have on your clock?
I haven't seen that.
I haven't checked.
I only have a few because I've been battling the time with you because we only have one copy.
I bogart the hell out of the PlayStation for big releases, but I think I'm at 24 hours right now, and I'm only at 31%. I just barely moved camp again.
Oh wow.
So yeah, and like I think my another big thing that I love about this is it's, Rockstar's really known for having super crazy satire of things. Like, they just skewer the hell out of things and make fun of them like crazy, and which is funny because one of the topics I was going to talk about in Nerd News was the fact that, the Housers came out and said, hey, GTA 6 can't really happen right now because the world is crazier than it's ever been. Yeah. And our satire would just basically be just comedy, and that's it. Like our personal blend of comedic value would be lost in this world where everything is so incredibly satirized by itself. Yeah. And that's the thing I love about this game too, is it's so unlike them because this story is very serious, very grounded, very, not Rockstar at all, in my opinion.
Another thing that I noticed that I love is I love that they brought back, because what I loved about Red Dead Redemption is when you were riding with people. What do we got?
So this is just something I saw it earlier, and then when you guys were mentioning when you guys were talking about how far or how long you'd played and not gotten hardly at all through the story.
I swear, Facebook listens to us.
Oh, yeah.
And they pander to our conversations that we have.
Well, and this one, it was like, it thought about
Totally.
it beforehand.
Yeah.
But, so it's a meme of SpongeBob just ragged as fuck. Like, just,
He needs
like he's been
water.
up for a week. And it says, when you've just played Red Dead Redemption 2 for 2 days straight and got 5% through the story.
That's not how I feel. But
Loving every minute of it, though. For sure.
Every minute.
What I liked in the first Red Dead Redemption is when you're riding with people, like the conversations they'd have between each other, and they brought that back in this one. But what I also noticed is, like, for example, in GTA 5, when you'd like walk past somebody would just say a random thing, but you walk past somebody and they're actively talking to somebody else. Like, you can hear their conversation as you walk past. And it's just those details. The other detail that I noticed that I just kind of went, whoa, is I was searching a drawer, and it was a nightstand. There was a drawer on top and on bottom. I opened them both, nothing in there. Close the top drawer, go to close the bottom drawer, and he closes it with his foot.
Yeah, he kicks it,
Yeah, and I was like,
Subtle
okay.
things like that, dude, are
Just little details like that.
And the horse physics.
Yeah.
horse physics.
I was telling the story to the guys before we started recording. So it has this moment where there's a lot of hunting in the game, you know, and so I went hunting, and the thing is people will respond to you for how you're looking. So if you walk in and you're covered in dirt and you smell like shit, people are gonna rear back and they're gonna like, oh, you stink really bad, you know, and sometimes even run away from you, you know, like it's concerning to them. So there was this moment where I walked back into camp and a person commented on the amount of blood that was on my shoulder from carrying a dead animal, right? And so I thought to myself, and like, why would I give a shit? It's a video game, but for some reason I do in this game. Like, I care
totally.
about what people are thinking about me.
Dude, I've showered. Okay, I think 4 days have gone. Like 4 or 5 days have gone in the cycle that I've been playing.
Yeah.
I've showered every single one of them.
No shit. It's compelling. Like, it's compelling to go through here and say, like, oh yeah, I want to come across as a good dude, you know?
Yeah.
So I didn't want to go back into camp with blood all over me again. So I was thinking, I was like, all right, you know, I'm going to try this out. I went up to this stream and I was like, I'm going to swim and see if the blood will come off of me, right? So I come up to this stream and it's too shallow. Like, it only comes up to about waist high, you know? So I got on my horse. I was like, I got an idea, right? Because in the earlier game, I did this thing where I ran into a tree with my horse, and my horse did a full-on frickin' front flip, and everything that was on my horse went flying. It was crazy. So I was thinking about it. I was like, I'm gonna try something. I ran full speed into a rock and sent myself flying into the stream, and I came up squeaky clean.
That's amazing.
And what's crazy even too is that I saw the blood waiting in the water.
Oh wow.
Yeah, like
I've noticed that. Like, I'll try and if I go, you know, get into a fight with like some highway robbers or whatever, and I have to kill them all. It's like we were talking about earlier. Like, if somebody walks past, even if you're defending yourself, they'll still just be like, "Oh shit," and they'll run and report you.
Yeah.
So I started like just hiding bodies off the road, and I put one in a lake once. And it started floating, and then I saw this just red pool floating up from it, and I was like, "Oh my god!" Dude.
Yeah,
like,
it's rad.
It's so crazy how the lengths that they went with the detail in this game.
It feels
Poison
like
the water hole.
There's a snake in my boot.
it feels like the level of quality that you'd find in a Naughty Dog game.
Yeah.
But just open world, and that's crazy to me. We'll have more to say later for sure.
We'll definitely have more to say later. We'll hopefully try to like power through, get the story done.
Yeah.
And hopefully by next week we have a nice like story to
Even if we don't, we'll at least have played enough of it that we can talk more about
Yeah,
it.
for sure.
And now we're gonna get to WWE Evolution.
Wii Evolution.
Wii Evolution.
Okay.
So we have our patented 5-star rating system, 5 being the best and 1 being the worst, 5 being evolutionary, 4 being amazing. Shout out to Mae Young. 3 being Stratusfactory, 2 being Divas match, and 1 being Bra and Panties. So let's start with the first match. Lita and Trish versus Mickie James and Alicia Fox. This match really brought back some like nostalgia factor for me.
Especially because it was 2 of the like, it wasn't just like Trish Stratus and somebody like that's been doing it for a while. It was her and Lita both like coming back.
Yeah.
Like 2 of like probably 2 of my favorite female wrestlers.
Well,
back
and
in
2
the
of the
day.
biggest.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't just some like random nostalgia of like, oh yeah, I remember that person. It was 2 of the biggest people back in the day.
Yeah, 2 of the people that
I think
just like ran.
the only way you could have made it bigger was if like Sable was involved.
Yeah. So I thought Lita and Trish were gonna win. What did everybody else think?
That's what I was going for. Like, as soon as they started the match, I was like, they got it.
Yeah, I mean, I figured that would be something they would absolutely want to do where James and Fox aren't typically paired together. I figured it was just kind of more of an exhibition, really, of the old
I kind of
stars.
figured if they were coming back, that they would, have to take the match, too.
Well, and I didn't know, like, I wasn't aware at that point of whether or not they're trying to bring them back into a weekly thing or anything. I figured they were trying to do that as kind of an homage to the older generation that never had this.
Yeah, because
That's what I
it's the
got.
first all women, so you got to bring back some of the heavy hitters.
Yeah.
For sure.
I liked Alicia Fox, and so I was rooting for her.
Yeah. What about Alicia Fox did you like?
Just her style, and she just seemed more likable than the other ones.
Okay, that's cool.
comparatively.
So as a preface, Cole and Angela are very new to wrestling. So
Nude?
Nude. They're very new to wrestling.
Not yet.
Whatever tickles your fancy.
Let me go get my feather.
And so they've been enjoying it. You guys have been enjoying it
Yes.
so far,
Yeah.
haven't you? And it makes my heart so very happy. Wrestling is just absolutely super personal to me, and so it's like my equivalent of a cat bringing you a dead rat.
Yep. I get the same way when I get people into the anime that I enjoy.
Yeah.
So I totally understand.
It's funny because you mainly are like, I started getting back into wrestling because of you and Dr. Nick, one of the old podcasters on the show. Like, I was like, when I first started hanging out with you guys, I'm like, oh, okay, wrestling is still a thing. I used to watch wrestling, and then I kind of got back into it, and I was just like, let's do this. Like, it just kind of brought me slowly back into it after the Attitude Era and all that.
Absolutely.
Well, and it's fun that, for our podcast on the first women's pay-per-view, we have our first woman podcaster.
yeah, it's true. We have
It's our own evolution.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, and
That wasn't on purpose at all.
I mean, as far as I know, it wasn't.
No, it wasn't.
It was completely unintentional.
that's why
That's weird.
I had the intention of bringing a woman in just to get a woman's perspective, but I completely blanked out of the fact that she's our first
Yeah.
woman
is
on
pretty
this
rad.
season of the podcast.
It's pretty rad.
Last season of the podcast, my wifey was on for the Dragon Ball Z episode, but I really wanted this woman's perspective just so that I can, I don't know, I think it makes things cooler for me.
It broadens it.
Yeah, my high point of the match was just the nostalgia factor. Just watching the twist of fate, the Stratusfaction, the chick kick.
See, I went a little more specific and said the lead assault.
Yeah, the Lita Moonsault.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, absolutely. Like, I think seeing all those things brought back the child in me. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Definitely.
My low point was that it needed a little more rehearsal, I think.
Yeah.
Like, nothing was botched, but everything just seemed a little too phoned in.
Well, and with my low point was that some of the things that, for example, Lita was doing were very slow.
Yeah, like it took a lot of visible preparation.
Yeah. Like, I mean, there wasn't just any sort of like snap, like boom, that move is done. It was just really like it took like several seconds from start to finish to do the move.
And on that same note, like, not necessarily a low point, but I guess besides the nostalgia, a high point for me was seeing like Trish Stratus still fucking has it, like the energy that she put out, and you can tell Lita not so much, but you can tell with Trish Stratus that like she's visibly getting older, but the way that she still put out that energy and just took everybody down, like that was, to me, watching that again, was seeing her still have it was probably my high point.
Yeah.
So the main thing, I feel like the not really the gimmick, but the thing that made this match special, especially to you guys, is the nostalgia factor, because there were a lot of these wrestlers were returning, you know. So that's kind of where this match falls short for me, is because I'm not nearly, and I can't, so honestly I can't hold that against it, so I'm not going to critique it on that point. That feels like a, you know, kind of a nitpicky thing on my end. So I'm just going to rate it on terms of like how I enjoyed the match. I did feel like it was kind of, you know, a little slower, just, and I was like, you know, these are some older women, you know, so I can't really, I would feel like a dick for, you know, nicking them for that. But I don't know. I felt like it was an enjoyable match for sure. I don't really have a high and a low point, really, because those two issues right there are my only issues. So I can't really. I know I'm kind of copping out on this one, but that's really my only thing.
No, I mean that's fair.
Yeah,
that's
totally
fair without
I
having
do have
that
an
Opening
background.
match too. So.
Yeah.
I don't really have one on this one. This one was kind of a throwaway match for me. Like, I still enjoyed it. I'd probably rate it Stratusfactory for this one.
I will also give it a Stratusfactory.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did as well. Also, I forgot one low point. The shit that Alicia Fox has to deal with.
Oh God, on a daily basis.
WWE, stop it. Just, Alicia Fox has put in the time. She is good. She has been there forever. Quit giving her the crazy silly girl routine.
Yeah.
Let her fucking do something.
Yeah, she was all over the place in terms of like
It's
energy
so
and stuff.
awful.
It was weird.
I hate it. I mean, I don't like her being relegated to this crazy girl trope when she is capable of so much more.
She's kind of like the female Perry Saturn.
Yeah.
'Cause,
Like, I'm surprised they haven't given her a mop yet.
yeah, serious, dude. Like, it just...
Shaves her head and gets a nose ring.
So we all agree, Stratusfactory.
Yeah, for sure.
We go on to the next match, which was the Women's Battle Royal for the #1 contendership.
This was fun to watch.
It was fun.
It was definitely a fun match. I had... Seeing Alundra Blade.
That was
Oh my God.
hilarious.
There were a lot of osteoporosis jokes
Yeah.
when she came out.
Yeah.
It was just like,
I
even the
feel
way she
like-
got eliminated, dude, she was just like, let me...
Hold on, let's
I would have
one
liked
foot in front of the other.
I would have liked to actually see her eliminate somebody and like get some like,
She was the first Elim.
you put her bring her back, put her in this match, and she's just out like that.
See, that's the thing. Like, I loved that they brought all these people back, but I hated that they dumped them from the match so quickly.
Yeah.
One right after the fucking other, too.
her and
like
Holly.
Unceremoniously,
Well, and
just...
there was that point where they had all of the older women in the center, and they all like rushed them.
Yeah.
I thought it was really cool, but
It was a nice little touch.
Yeah.
I have 2 high points of the match, and the one was the Nia Jackson Tamina team up. It was just so cool to watch the Anoa'i family be together in that, and the way they did the tribute to Roman.
Yeah.
So that was cool, and the 4-way suplex.
I'm sure that's
I
going to
was
be
just
all
gonna
of our
say,
high point.
yeah,
really.
that's my high
I mean,
point for
that
sure.
was way fun. That was like, and then as they started stacking people on the end, we were just all like, "Oh my god!
Yeah,
Add another one.
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody else noticed, but as they were stacking in, like Tamina came over and she's like, "What's going on?" And she just got pulled into it by somebody. They just like pulled her in.
Just bring it in. Just bring it in. Yeah. It was great. That suplex was amazing.
Oh,
It was-
if you guys
it was a
didn't
lot
see
of
that,
fun.
it was just, what was it, 4-on-4 on each side?
Yeah,
And 4
yeah.
just lifted them and just slant. Oh. Because at first I thought they were all trying to suplex Nia.
Yeah.
And then it just turned into, nope, everyone fucking suplex each other.
Everybody into the pool.
Yeah. Back in the pile.
I mean, my only low point was just kind of overall. It was pretty botchy.
It really was.
The whole match was pretty botchy.
That was my low point as well.
Besides that, I guess my personal high point was Nia basically winning. Like I thought she was gonna get taken out at the very end, but who was it that she threw out at the end?
Ember Moon?
Yeah, Ember Moon.
That was rad.
Yeah.
That was really
like,
cool.
she was so just shaken, and she literally just threw her over the rope. There was no trying to grab the rope to save herself.
That double-handed choke slam. She just fucking...
Oh, yeah, that was my high point right there, where she just slammed her down.
Spikes her into the thing.
Oh, like, I was rooting for her the entire time. It was either rooting for her or Asuka.
Yeah, I wanted Asuka.
I'm glad Asuka made it as far as she did, though.
Agreed. Angela, you were saying that you're, like, top 3.
Yeah, my top 3 made it in the top 5. So I was rooting for Asuka. I really liked Ember Moon because when she came out, she was wearing a costume that was very reminiscent of Melina from Mortal Kombat, and so that got my attention for sure. And I also really liked Nia Jax, and my high points were also the quad suplex and the one-on-one with Ember and Nia.
Nice.
Dude, I think Nia is like slowly becoming like one of my favorite like female superstars.
I mean,
like,
Nia's really cool, and she's extremely capable.
Yeah, absolutely.
and she's just like, she's not, like, she doesn't have this like fucking attitude complex. Like, she's super like nice, and like when she won, she was like in tears. Like, she's just super humble, and I love it.
She's definitely. Well, I mean, she's cut from a really
Well, and she's been through a lot.
yeah. She's cut from this really, I guess, expensive cloth. You know what I mean? Like, it's with The Rock, Roman Reigns, the Usos, like Jimmy Superfly Snuka, the Johnsons. Like, those are all powerhouses as far as wrestling is concerned. So for her not to follow suit is just almost unfathomable.
Yeah.
Well, and the fact that she had to drop the belt.
Yeah.
She had gotten injured, had to drop the belt, and come back after how long has it been? I mean, it's been a good several months.
Yeah, it's been a few months. It's been like 6 to 9 months. I think.
And for them to just push her right back to where she was, being able to have that position and a shot at the belt, like that's pretty cool.
I think it's deserved.
Yeah,
definitely.
Oh, for sure.
Definitely earned more than deserved, actually.
I mean, I was gonna say, like, there are plenty of other people who deserve it and are there day in and day out that they don't do that for.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy. I give the match an amazing. I thought that match was really fun to watch. It was well paced. It didn't last too long, because normally battle royals either last too long or don't last long enough, and this was just right. This was just right porridge for my wrestling Goldilocks.
Who was the one girl in the final 5 that we had like not seen like at all? And
Zelina Vega.
She showed up out of nowhere and just eliminated Tamina, right? And she's like pumping herself up and stuff, and the camera so conveniently panned to Nia behind her, just like towering over her with this like just big bulky like stance,
and it's a big size difference.
And she turns around and she's just like, oh my gosh, Nia Jax is behind me and I'm about to die. That was another real high point of mine.
That might be why like I'm starting to like her so much, is because you see like the big male wrestlers that are intimidating, like Big Show, Andre the Giant, but there's not a lot of female ones. No.
It was very.
She uses it.
Natural.
She uses it, but she doesn't like. She wasn't acting like what's her name, that won by the help of her friends. She got thrown into him.
Shayna Baszler.
Yeah, she didn't use it like her, but it's like you don't see those like the big intimidating female superstars, and then she comes out and people are just like cowering underneath
Well,
her.
and it's really fun to see that too, because with the guys, sure, you've got Big Show, you've got Kane, you've got Undertaker, you've got like 30 big giant dudes. You know?
I even consider like Great Khali like a big fucking dude.
Whereas with the female stars, she's the only one.
Yeah.
She's the only one.
Tamina's like a close second.
Oh yeah.
Well, like, and it's funny because like Tamina is to the other wrestlers what Nia is to Tamina.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, like it's that much of a difference, even just between those two.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I gave it an amazing.
I gotta say the power bomb that she gave at the end like locked in the amazing rating for me.
I actually stuck with Stratus Factory because it was just there were some really cool moments, but it was just way too botchy.
I really enjoyed it. I gave it an amazing.
Nice.
Amazing for me. Even though I'm really disappointed that Asuka, for all them weebs out there, Asuka is best girl. Just so you know,
she is.
Asuka Langley.
Sorry, Weeaboo Jones.
Reality
check.
Fuck you. I love Family Guy. I don't know. I really enjoyed this match. I thought it was a lot of fun, and a lot of the girls had a lot of character, and I loved them. So I definitely will. I'll go with an amazing for sure.
Awesome.
Yeah, I love watching like battle royales and Royal Rumbles.
Yeah,
like,
those are always so much
no
fun.
matter male or female. More so female now because like the just kind of the energy and teamwork that I saw in that. Like when the Iconics came out and we're talking their shit, and then they turn around and the entire like everybody else is just like, fuck
Oh, that's
you,
right.
bitches.
They were
And-
the first. They
just got thrown the fuck out.
Yeah.
And
They
it's
were
just-
annoying as
It's
shit.
just like you were saying, Derek.
Yeah.
What were they? What did you compare them to?
So I said that the Iconics are the Team Rocket of WWE.
Yeah.
They really are.
They come in,
Or the
make
Emperor Pilaf of Dragon Ball.
they come in, make this crazy speech. They go in and then just get their asses kicked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Foiled.
Foiled.
So on to match number 3, which was one of my favorite matches. Toni Storm versus Io Shirai for the Mae Young Classic final. Such a fucking good match. I followed both of these women from when they started into the Mae Young Classic. Toni Storm, this is her second run through into the Mae Young Classic. She had an injury and had to
Oh, damn.
yeah, so to see her kind of come back and win it was kind of cool. I personally, from the very beginning of the announcements, like for the bracketology first came out, I was going for Io Shirai. I thought it was going to be Io Shirai and Miko Satomura for the final, but it was crazy. Like I said, I had predicted Io Shirai. What did you guys think?
I also
Yeah,
predicted
me,
you.
me as well.
for sure.
That's who I was kind of going for. Like, and I don't know. Recently, it's just like these female Japanese wrestlers have just been doing it for me, just because of like what they are capable of doing, like in a match. Like,
Well, they obviously work so hard.
Yeah. And with wrestling like being as big as it is in Japan, even like
They have the discipline
Yeah.
that's needed.
Yeah.
One of my high points was the apron German suplex.
Oh yeah, that was dope.
From Toni Storm to Io Shirai, and I honestly, because Io Shirai didn't bump that, not even a little, dude. Like she went onto her.
It
whole
like
back.
made me jump back because like I mean all of the mat is not fun to land on, but the apron where like kind of where the mat kind of ends, right on that edge.
That's like the hardest part of the mat.
Yeah.
I was so stoked to see a Rings of Saturn.
Yeah,
I like because I
yeah.
haven't been watching the Mae Young Classic,
Yeah.
so I was not aware of that at all,
Yeah.
and I was so excited to see that.
Yeah, dude. When she pulled it out the first time I saw her in the Mae Young Classic, I was like, oh,
Yeah,
holy shit.
that was so cool. I mean, that's always been one of my favorite moves.
Yeah. So, for those of you that don't know, and Cole and Angela, the Rings of Saturn is that submission move where she had both of her hands behind her back, and she just brought him into 2 rings and just wrenched.
Okay.
That was done by Perry Saturn, who wrestled back in like
WCW.
WCW days and stuff like that. And so he was great at it. He was a great technical wrestler.
He was so good.
Great technical wrestler. And those Rings of Saturn were like his bread and butter. I really didn't have a low point to this match. This match was really well paced. There weren't many botches that I could see, and it was really emotional at the end to see.
It was.
I guess the only low point that I have are fucking Tony Storm's faces.
That's my low point.
I was waiting for that.
And I was going to say, this is pretty nitpicky.
The face.
But God, her faces were just distracting.
Yeah. Like, she just looked way too strained.
Which is weird because she's a very attractive person.
It made it hard to root for her because I'm like, you're not compelling, lady. You need to.
It was like, it was more than she needed to do, too. Like, even when she was in the favor of winning the match, like, she was still, I'm just like.
They were comically melodramatic.
Yeah. They really were. So, Toni Storm won, and I really honestly didn't see it coming just because Toni Storm has her outlet at NXT UK. So I didn't really think that she needed a push. Yeah, what did you guys think?
I loved it. I mean, I was going for Io, of course, but it's because, like I was saying, like, watching the female wrestlers from Japan, I'm just, like, always just, like, every single one of them, like...
They really fucking bring it, dude.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and
which is
their
great.
Entrances are... Like, even the male, like what's his name? Shinsuke?
Yeah.
Shinsuke Nakamura.
Like, even
Shinsuke.
Well...
He does that.
I do it to him all the fucking time.
Like, when he comes out, his entrance is just so, like, bizarre, and even with the Asuka's when she comes out, and even Io's when she came out, and it's just so entertaining, and, like, what they wear when they come out is just so
flashy,
like, off the wall compared to what everybody else is wearing. So.
Well, and what I like is that just their mere presence in the WWE kind of necessitates that everyone else up their game.
Yeah.
And quit resting on their laurels.
Well, yeah, the Japanese have this insane way of working. Like, they don't pull punches. Mm-hmm. Everything is always just boom, stiff, boom. You know what I mean? Like, that's why I love it so much. Like, Shinsuke Nakamura, his strong style is fucking unparalleled.
Kinshasa!
Right? That Kinshasa knee strike is amazing. You know what I mean? The Kyrie Sane's high octane elbow.
Yeah.
I love Kyrie Sane so
Sane
much.
But yeah, I gave this match an amazing.
Amazing, for sure. I really enjoyed watching Io. I really liked her a lot. Tony, not so much, but I don't know. Kind of bummed Io didn't win, but whatever.
I mean, she was great apart from the faces.
I mean, even if it wasn't for the faces, I still would have just kind of been like, it was just her performance. And
yeah, I was rooting for Io until the very end, and she went down swinging too. She
was in it until she passed out. Mm-hmm. Like, she was not gonna give up, and I loved that.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely wanted Io. Like, she's so fucking cool.
I was kind of hoping she was going to get out of that last submission, but...
yeah, I also give this one an amazing.
I did as well.
Yeah, I would say amazing, just like we were just talking about earlier, because of, like, Io's resolve, and she just, like, she didn't even tap out, like, in that submission hold. She was just in it until she was out.
Yeah, it was good. It was definitely good. It was... great. I really liked this whole pay-per-view. Match number 4, Riot Squad versus Sasha Banks, Natalya, and Bayley. This was also a fun match.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I think this was a way...
Jinx, what are the versions of attention?
You owe him a coat.
That was the weirdest shit.
Yeah, I'm leaving that in. Goddamn.
Okay.
Oh yeah, it was a lot of fun. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I had the Riot Squad winning this one. I thought they were going to win.
I really wanted them to win.
Can we just talk about fucking Ruby Riott in her Zatanna outfit? I don't care if that really was a Zatanna outfit.
Dude, I think that was a Zatanna outfit.
I would say.
I'm quite positive.
I'm gonna go stalk her Instagram.
Follow
later.
your nose.
Toucan ma'am.
Dude,
I'll stick a toucan man up my ass, bro.
Dude,
dog.
I would. She can get it any day of the week.
Dude, it's just
Any
that one.
Only if she wants to, because
that
we have
one
to-
feature is just I just can't.
Yeah.
Like
You
everything
two-
else about her.
You two can't?
Yeah. Yeah, I too can't.
That's a good one.
Yeah,
No, but
I love me
good
some.
God.
She could get it any day. of
She
the week.
Liv Morgan, however.
Liv
Oh,
Morgan
God.
always.
Of course, if they want to, because we at the Nerd Corporation are pro consent.
Pro wrestling consent.
Yes.
So she's the one that was wearing the Harley
the black,
Quinn.
and
Yeah.
she had the cutout from her leg.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Well,
that's
she-
just a part of her tights.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
As he looks at his wife.
She can get it.
Oh no, I
Why
I
aren't you
totally,
apologizing to me?
I fully
She's
agree.
like, no, she can.
yeah, no.
One of my high points of that match was the double sharpshooter.
Oh my god.
That double where she takes her into the fucking.
I
was
can't
just
believe
like,
she pulled that off.
Yeah,
Like,
I can't believe that wasn't the end of the match.
Yeah.
to be honest. But
yeah.
then again, they weren't the legal ones in or whatever.
Yeah, that was cool. I did like that.
Low point for me was that it was really botchy, slow paced.
Well, and the tags were like it was so long between tags.
Oh,
it was
when
just
when Bailey just drew out her like I love Bailey, like she's super like energetic and I like watching her, but she drew out that fucking crawl to the tag where
See,
she
that's
easily could have gotten it.
that's my low point. Is I'm just like,
Yeah.
you are overselling this lady. Like,
Yeah.
I get it. You know it.
At one point, you were just like, "Just tag her already!"
Oh my god, just do it, dude. Like, I don't know, man. Like the double sharpshooter is definitely my high
But
as well.
she kind of came back and did the hot tag when she jumped and did
Yeah,
it. So
yeah.
I was like, okay, yeah, you got it there.
Angela, what did you like and dislike?
Liv Morgan and Ruby Riott and Sasha Banks really entertained me, the three of them.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate that they weren't all on the same team because I thought that they all had quite a bit of charisma themselves. But yeah, I rooted for the Riot Squad as well, and Sasha Banks on the side.
Nice. Do you rock?
I mean, I already mentioned the tags. The other negative that I had listed was the Sasha botch. But right, that's right. That's what it was. I was like, I don't
tope.
remember what I meant by that. But yeah, no, where she just
Tried to do that tope and almost like hesitated.
Oh yeah,
well,
yeah.
that one was really
no, she
bad.
she straight hesitated and then just sort of like once she got to the ropes, she just kind of like
Wait.
let herself fall straight down.
Yeah.
Like it was like she lost her momentum and just kind of like fell, and then the onus was on everyone else to grab her and figure something out.
Which was really cool, I think, for them to have thought up on the
Yeah.
fly when they like grabbed her and then like threw her into the barricade.
Yeah,
or
they
whatever.
did really well recovering from her fuck up.
Which, did you notice that there wasn't a padded barricade?
Well, yeah, no, it was kind of like. So what was that? Was that just
It was just
metal
a
railing with the
the
sheet or the
stuff
cover
draped
over it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And that's crazy for me because they haven't done that in
I
a
know,
long time.
right?
So I don't know what their reasoning was behind
I
that.
mean, I wonder if it was just a venue thing.
Maybe, but I really do like how they recovered that one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So the result was that Sasha, Natalya, and Bailey won. I kind of figured they were going to do that just because they're the baby faces.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I really wanted Riot Squad to
I
win.
really wanted
I
them
did
to win
too.
too.
I wanted Riot Squad to win.
The slow pace and the botching is what made me give it a stratisfactory. for
Yeah,
me.
I did that as well.
Yeah, that's accurate for me.
I mean, nothing inherently bad stuck out to me, so I would say 3 for sure.
Yeah, I agree. Satisfactory.
Next match, Kyrie Sane versus Shayna Baszler for the NXT Women's title.
Oh, Kyrie.
Kyrie Sane. My prediction was that Shayna Baszler was going to win.
I was really hoping for Kyrie.
Me too.
I was hoping for Kyrie, but I kind of maybe towards the end could see that she was going to take it, and I was, pissed at how she won it. Like, that was some bullshit.
It was, for a pay-per-view, that was my low point.
Yeah, it was a really fucked way to win.
It was almost as bad as when Brock Lesnar came out and fucked everything up
Yeah.
in the last
Yeah,
one.
yeah.
Like,
Yeah, it almost kind of felt unfair.
yeah.
Like, I was gonna make a joke about how this Shayna girl looked like she was about to eat Kyrie, but I felt like it was too mean, so just forget I even said anything.
No,
but
no, we're doing
it's just like, this is the one where they did that thing where her like friends from the audience came and helped out. I'm like, this is fucking stupid. That's bullshit. Like, why is that even? And I'm like, is this ref even doing his job? Like, what's going on here?
Like, I think they justified it by the fact that that Kyrie had thrown her over the barricade and into them, and so that's why they got involved, because they got pissed because they got hit.
I mean, this Shayna
But
girl
still-
like kicked the what did she do? She like almost broke the chick's arm, and she's like still fighting with like a busted up arm. I'm like, just give it to Kyrie.
Yeah,
Just give it to Kyrie.
I'll give it to Kyrie,
but only if she wants to.
but only if she wants to.
because we at the Nerd Corporation are
Pro wrestling consent.
Fucked that up, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
Well, because I said pro wrestling consent.
That spike DDT though, that DDT that Kyrie Sane did to Shayna Baszler, just kind of like,
Yeah.
because she botched it obviously because she went head first into the fucking mat and it was ridiculous. My low point was that it was super slow paced, and then just that ending was just horrible.
Yeah, that's just garbage, especially considering that this is the first women's pay-per-view.
Yeah, to
just
end it on a cop out.
Yeah, I'm so sick of that.
And the way, like, that was my low point too, is because when what's her name kicked Kyrie, like, it wasn't like she got kicked and then turned around and Shayna got her. Like, she just full on like fell back and she just caught her
In the Kirifuna clutch.
and so I was just like, that's not even. But I think my high point was it was a very like minute thing that happened, but I think Shayna tried to throw her into the stairs and she just jumped out of it and just jumped up on the stairs and got back in the ring, and I was like, good fuck. That was like a seriously cool maneuver that she did there.
Yep, I agree. I gave this a Stratusfactory.
Just because of the ending, I agree with that one. Number 3.
I'm in between amazing and Stratusfactory because I really liked Kyrie. Really liked Kyrie.
It goes back to that, like, that whole, resolve and just not giving up until it's, apparently that she has to.
Yeah, she had a lot of determination.
Like, you could see her holding her arm, and her arm was
She
like,
played it up.
fucked.
Yeah, she did really well.
So yeah, I mean, I was verging on a 2 just because there was so much botulism.
You said
Right.
the word of the day.
And just that garbage ass ending that WWE loves shoving down our throat on big events.
Yeah.
And that's
Especially
just,
for this being the first women's pay-per-view.
I mean, this is the big event when you're talking about women. Like, and you're seriously, that's how you're gonna play it?
Yep.
Garbage.
Garbage. Well, luckily there was a match that saved all of that. And this is actually my pick for match of the night. Charlotte Flair versus Becky Lynch in a last woman standing match for the SmackDown Women's title. Holy shit.
This was rad. This was a lot of fun.
This was one of the matches where, like, towards the very end, we were just kind of like, okay, let's
wrap
don't
it up.
stand up. But, like, up until that last moment before, when Charlotte was trying to get up and she was only on one leg and she finally just gave in, up until that point, I was just like, this could keep going and I would be okay with it.
Like literally, like how the crowd chants, "Fight forever."
Yeah.
I loved the hardcore aspect. I didn't think they were going to use that many weapons.
Oh,
to
I
be
know.
honest.
They did everything. TLC.
Yep, tables, ladders, chairs, kendo sticks.
Oh yeah, kendo sticks as well.
Like,
Everything.
I honestly,
ladders, chairs, oh my.
yeah, like I honestly didn't expect any of that. Like I expected a chair or two, but they brought the whole. They brought down.
They literally took every single chair out and threw it into the ring.
Yeah, they brought everything out, and I think that was so amazing. The Becky Lynch leg drop. That was fucking dope for me too, and the table bomb off the top rope.
That was by far my favorite part.
Yeah, the power bomb to the table was my high point. Like, that was fucking great.
I'm trying to choose between the drop onto the announcer's table or the power bomb, but I think I'm gonna have to go with the power bomb for the high point.
What about you guys, Cole and Angela?
My high point was watching Charlotte Flair get buried in a mountain of chairs.
Oh my god!
That's my favorite.
Yeah,
too.
it was just so like out of nowhere, but like she was using her surroundings to just keep her down.
Environmental damage.
Yeah,
AOE.
It was very entertaining.
Cool. Cole, what did you think?
Yeah, I really dug that part too. I don't know. It felt a little long for me, but I don't know. I felt like at that point it's nitpicky. I really didn't find anything wrong with this at all.
Like
I loved this match.
That whole chair thing is like I've never seen that happen from anybody ever.
Oh, isn't this
the one?
This is the one with the ladder, and like she tried doing the whole thing
yeah,
with the ladder.
she tried doing the figure 8 through the ladder.
See,
that was my low point.
I
That
think
was
that's
almost
my
my
low
low
point.
point, but my main low point was it seems like sometimes Charlotte doesn't realize what a fucking mountain of a woman she is.
Yeah.
And so she sets the table up rather close to the corner, and then she goes to do the moonsault, right? Mm-hmm. And she
doesn't break
the
table.
She kind of slaps her with her hands because she's that far over her already.
Yeah. And
Like
the table
she's
doesn't break.
Yeah, like she doesn't hit her with her body. And I actually really liked that they then went back and were like, fuck it, no, we're gonna do this right.
And she does the senton bomb.
Yeah, she did the
Nailed that
senton.
swamp.
There
And
were a lot
if
of
you notice-
botches, but they made up for it a ton because they redid the moves that they messed up on, and they redid them successfully.
Yeah, and
which made for a better.
I like
fight.
that rather than them just pretending that, oh, she totally got me.
Yeah.
Like, no, I fucking hate that shit.
Do it again.
Or like my favorite example of that is the one where, and I don't even remember who it was, launches over the top rope to some waiting people beneath, like
Right.
down on the floor.
Right.
And it was Kane. It was Kane who was the most noticeable because dude didn't even touch Kane, and Kane goes and falls down, and I was like, oh my god, like that's the type of shit I hate.
Yeah.
So it was
That shit I don't like.
it was respectable that they were like, no, we're gonna do this right.
Yeah.
She sets up the table further back. She learned her lesson
and
does that awesome moonsault.
Yeah. It is,
So that was cool.
We're gonna give the people what they paid for.
absolutely.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
That $10 a month though.
This match was an instant classic for me, so I gave it an evolutionary.
Yeah, I would go with that just because of like the back and forth that they were each going through. Like it wasn't ever really in one person's favor. It was like back and forth. So I'll give it that. I don't know if I mentioned my low point, but it was the figure 8 and the ladder because at some point she wasn't even utilizing the ladder. Like they were both
when
like
she
lifted
bridged
up.
over.
When she bridged over, the ladder was irrelevant.
Yeah,
It had nothing. It made no impact.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm still gonna go with a 5.
5. I really like this match, and for me, it's match of the night for sure.
Yeah, evolutionary.
Yeah, I went with evolutionary as well. Like there wasn't a stalled moment of the match.
Yeah.
There was constant action, and it was, sometimes a little bit botchy, but mostly it was rather on point.
And Becky Lynch can get it.
Dude,
Any day of the week.
every day of the week. Becky Lynch is
Bitch fine as fuck, bro.
she's amazing. I love her to death. She's fucking a
She can
phenomenal
get it
wrestler.
if she wants it.
Yes.
Because we at the Nerd Corporation are
Pro-consent.
Wrestling.
Crazy thing, this is the first time that we've all graded a match at the top level.
Yeah.
Yeah, not even during what was that one we watched?
SummerSlam.
Yeah, we didn't even give any of those a 5.
Yeah, so this is the first one I think that we've given a 5 to.
Another first time milestone.
Yeah, it's evolutionary. So we come on to the last match, main event of the night, Ronda Rousey and Nikki Bella for the Raw Women's title. This match was dope.
It
Oh
was.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
It was
yeah.
good.
Great. Like I thought it was really well paced. Everything was fine. Ronda is really coming into her own as a wrestler, and I'm really happy about that because I was really concerned about her at first.
I mean, I wasn't, just because, I mean, Ronda does not seem like the type of person to be okay with being decent.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? She's got that drive. So I wasn't concerned. Like, I knew
she was the UFC Women's Champion for a reason.
I mean, I knew that she was gonna push it until she got to a place where she was comfortable. Yeah. Which I don't think she has a place where she's comfortable. I think she's always gonna be pushing.
Yeah,
I like because I was saying earlier during the event that I didn't pay. I mean, she blew up in the UFC, so everyone was knowing who she was, but I didn't really pay much attention because I don't really watch UFC. But she had this reputation where she was like just this fierce woman, and then she lost like in that big fight that she had in UFC. But now she's in the WWE, and she's like gaining momentum, and she's like building up what she used to have before it got taken from her in the UFC, and I'm totally into that.
Yeah, I agree. I just, it's so hard sometimes for people to transition from those things. You know what I mean? Like,
you got Brock Lesnar who's done it God knows how many times.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And see, with Brock Lesnar...
Pick a lane!
Right? With Brock Lesnar, it was like, you know, it went from WWE to UFC, and then when he came back from UFC, he kind of just lost it a little bit.
Yeah.
And then went back to UFC, and then came back again and lost
it even more.
I'll admit, he was entertaining to watch in the UFC.
Yeah, he definitely was, dude.
He had to have like gloves custom made for him because of his fucking canned ham hands.
I remember watching him against Shane Carwin, and that fucking fight was ridiculous.
My absolute high point for the Rousey Bella match was right before she did the armbar.
That top rope.
Where she grabbed her and just flipped her down and then transitioned right. Like, she still had her arm as they landed, and she got up and just went right into it.
I think that was meant to look a little bit more smooth from, like, as far as the transition went. But regardless, it was still awesome.
For that to have been pulled off at all.
Yeah.
I don't think any of us were even expecting at all.
It was super impressive, for sure.
Blew me away.
So. Like, I figured, you know, she would go on the top rope, do some little simple move, like a crossbody or something little, you know. And I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Like, it was crazy.
It really took you back.
Yeah.
That's... Again, that's why I'm like kind of been rooting for her, because it's like she's, you know, building this momentum, and it's nice to see her like propelling.
I mean, just leaps and bounds
in the WWE as opposed to the UFC.
So, just to be different, my high point, which I'm not sure if I think Cole and Angela might have seen it, but Eddie and Nick definitely didn't. Was the baseball slide.
Yeah, I was pissed that for a split second I was looking at my phone and I totally missed it.
So Nikki goes to do this baseball slide as Ronda is, you know, laying
on the apron,
prone on the apron, but inside the ropes, and you know, last second Ronda just pops right up, like arches her back and
bridges pretty much.
Basically bridges. She's holding the rope with, I think, one hand, if I remember right. She was sitting there bridging, and Nikki just slides right under her and out of the ring, and I was like, what the it was so cool.
And you see that's the kind of choreography that like you can't,
because that's a simple ass thing. But
that choreography, that's what you don't get. Like, it's that entertainment value that doesn't come from like a contact sport, that doesn't come from like a football, a baseball, or a basketball. It's still athletic. It's like stunt people getting their chance to shine. You know what I mean? Like,
course.
Watching them do those kinds of things and then do them over and over. Watching them do it week after week after week after month after year. Like, it's
well, and it was timed really well too, because you know there'll be those ones where somebody goes to counter a move, but they'll counter it too early. And so it just looks dumb because they're waiting way too long. But this was just perfect. Like, she did it at just the right moment. Yeah. And it just was seamless.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Rousey won, retained her title. I gave that an amazing. There were some parts that kind of dragged on, but I didn't really care. Like, I didn't mind them too much. But it definitely wasn't... It definitely wasn't Charlotte versus Becky.
No, yeah, I go with amazing too. I loved every second of that match.
Yeah, I did as well.
Amazing, for sure.
I gave it a Stratusfactory. There was not too much wrong with it. I think that Ronda has found her place in this industry, and hers and Nikki's chemistry flowed really well. It was really well choreographed. It didn't stick out to me as much as the other matches, but it was entertaining nonetheless.
Nikki's talking all this shit and she gets hit.
Okay, so that concludes everything. Match of the night for me was Charlotte Flair versus Becky Lynch. What about you guys?
Oh yeah,
Me as well.
easily.
Yep, agreed.
Easily.
I did enjoy the Battle Royale quite a bit, though.
And I would say very close second, like splitting right down, like just a hair, was the Mae Young match.
Yeah,
Like, that was so great.
Definitely a close second for me too.
Yeah.
Just very close second. Full pay-per-view rating, I gave it an amazing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
A lot better than the one we watched beforehand.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
The boys got to step it up.
Yeah, the dudes really got to step it up because that's real competition.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I hope they continue doing all female pay-per-views because
Oh, I'm sure they will.
it was very entertaining.
I loved it
I'm
because
here for it.
because it was it was the first one, so there's always that if you factor like, oh, what if it doesn't go so well? But
Yeah,
to have it have gone that well for
Yeah.
the very first one was
Well,
perfect.
And I was telling all of you guys earlier that I was somewhat concerned because classically most of the women who have been having matches on either pay-per-views or Raws or things like that have it really generally been pretty botchy. And so I was very concerned about the pay-per-view as a whole, and they just blew it up so crazily. Just...
And so I wanted to get your input, like, being new to wrestling and seeing not only just like a historic pay-per-view, but seeing an all-women's pay-per-view, like, how does that affect you as a fan going forward?
Like I said before, like, it's all just very entertaining comparative to the last one that I viewed. There was just like that like little extra like spice to it. The entire thing entertaining as a whole.
Yeah.
Eat a lot of spicy.
Yeah.
Do you feel like it resonated with you more being an all-women's pay-per-view?
Yeah. There's definitely the historical aspect magnifying how like important it is.
With all like the interviews and stuff in between matches, talking to all the older women stars, and this is where we're at now.
This is a huge milestone for all of them.
Mm-hmm. And I feel like it's a milestone. I feel like it's a milestone like for women in general, like I
agree.
To be seen this way as equals, like as
Right.
superstars instead of divas in the past, or just managers in the past.
Or well, and and I'm not gonna lie, in the past on Raws or whatever, when it got to, because you'll typically have a women's match at any given Raw. You'll have a single women's match, and they, like I said, you've typically been pretty botchy and pretty rushed because that's not what they think people want to see. So
Right.
They just go do your thing. Get
Well,
out.
and like seeing Charlotte and Becky fight again compared to the last one, there was just like this like feeling of like empowerment like behind them, and it was more powerful as a whole just compared to when they were fighting with the men fighting before and after them too.
Well, and I think that being seen as equals is going to drive them to work harder, which is going to drive the men to work harder, which is going to just raise the entire overall product. And with those matches back before, I mean, when a woman's match would come up, I'd be like, all right, cool, time to go get snacks.
Yeah,
I didn't
absolutely.
give two shits.
Absolutely.
And
And now I stick around for them.
Yeah.
Now they're some of the most exciting matches to watch.
Yeah,
Just
and
because they're pushing that hard.
Yeah.
They feel like they have that
Well,
much
and
proof.
there's more like moves than what you see in the men's matches, because like there's a lot of hair pulling now and clawing, and you're just like, oh my gosh, this is like very, very raw, and it feels real.
Well, and when you're relegated to a match a night and you feel like no one gives a shit about what you're doing, you're not going to give a shit about what you're doing yourself.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think that was kind of just this
it added a
self-defeating
seriousness
thing, and now they're being empowered, and it's going to be so great. Like, now they actually feel like what they're doing matters.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like I said in the beginning, Cole and Angela, like having you guys have fun watching this.
Oh yeah.
Because wrestling is such a niche thing. Like, there are so many people that shit on wrestling, and so many people that are just like, well, whatever, blah blah blah.
It's fake, right?
Oh no, I hate when people
it's just soap operas for men.
It really
See,
is.
that's what I say though. It is. It's
Yeah.
That's the thing.
It's my man's soap opera.
It's my man stories.
Yeah, my man's
I watch the stories.
You know what I mean? But y'all will watch a 3-camera take of Jackie Chan kicking ass, and that's more realistic to you? Come on. Anyway.
Well, it's Jackie Chan, so it's him actually doing it.
Right. But
They still do 1,000 takes of it half the time before they get it right.
Not just one take.
They botch the shit out of that.
Talk about botulism.
Talk about botulism.
so thank you so much for joining us. Angela, thank you so much for joining us. As always, you can find us on social media.
The Nerd Corporation, a podcast on Facebook.
On Twitter and Instagram at Nerdcourt Podcast.
Or you can email us at nerdcourtpodcast@gmail.com.
And if you want to see more double sharpshooters and top rope arm bars, subscribe to our Patreon, patreon.com/Nerdcore Podcast. Several tiers of loot to have access to, from stickers and shirts and ringtones to bonus episodes and content. So for the Nerd Corporation, my name is Eddie Lyon.
I'm Cole Simper.
I'm Angela Wooden.
Derek Reese.
And I'm Nick Lewis.
We apologize to Alundra Blaze. We couldn't have you on. Maybe you can come on next time and let us know what it was like to get back into that unitard. Peace out.
Madam Musa, work your magic!